What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into my channel and check out what I do. This is the second video I've done, and this is something different here. This is a countertop that I'm doing. It's pretty easy. First things first, my best friend, the 3M paper masking machine. Like I said before in the previous video, this is a time saver, and a time saver is a lifesaver. The more time you save, the more you make per hour. And as you can see, I just did one full stripe across the whole countertop, and now I'm going to do one full stripe across the backsplash with one piece of tape, and that will come in handy later. I'll do a second piece over the smaller countertop, but usually all in one piece, and it just makes it easier when it comes down to cleanup. This is a time to take your time, because when you get to the end and you want to get going and you want to get to the next job, or you just want to go home, you want all these things in place, and you'll avoid many accidents if you do this. And after covering the back of the stove and the side, it's time for the kitchen sink. One of the most important parts of prepping is the kitchen sink. You have to get on there and you have to make perfect cuts. It's 4 stripes of tape going around, and then a clean brand new razor, and I mean brand new. The razors are about $10 a pack for 100. Just spend the money. That's not expensive. And every time you do a sink, you use a fresh razor, and that's pretty much 10 cents. I mean, yeah, about 10 cents. As you can see, I'm doing a perfect cut around the edge of the kitchen sink. Now, if that edge is not cut perfectly and some of it is laying on the countertop, when the job is done and you go to pull that off, you will pull the paint and you will ruin the job. You'll have to come back, and in coming back to redo, you're not going to earn any, or your mathematically your earning per hour goes down. After that, I just lay some plastic on top. I tape up the plastic to hold it down. One for my gun when it sprays behind the faucet handles, and the second reason is so when I go to pull that plastic off, I could take it all off in one chunk. And there it is. That's all there is to it. Now, next thing is PPE. I always express this: wear your protection, gloves, ear protection, masks. But one that's always forgotten is the knee pads. Guys and gals, always wear your knee pads. You are going to be working on your knees if you're going to do this kind of business. And it's just something you don't want to suffer later on in life. Ask any tile setter, he'll let you know. And those knee pads aren't that expensive. I think I spent like $13 at Harbor Freight for them. You don't have to spend a lot of money on the knee pads. You just need some good cushioning, and they work pretty good. And after that, it's my second best friend. It's the 3M plastic with tape. This is another item that's kind of pricey, but well worth it, because I could always make that money back, but I can't make the time. And this is a time saver. Just like the paper masking machine is also a time saver. You just run it across the bottom of the countertop and you pull the plastic. I think it's about 4 feet, 48 inches, and it covers the kitchen counters. And now I'm just covering the stove, mainly because of what goes up in the air, the overspray, so it doesn't land on top of the stove. And after all said and done and it's all wrapped up, I just grab a little bit of 60 grit sandpaper, and I just hand sanded. This countertop wasn't actually too bad. There was some cigarette burns and some stains, and a couple of spots where I guess the previous tenant used it as a cutting board, which I think is gross, cutting your food on a countertop versus using your own personal cutting board. After that, I just lay my drop cloth down, and I use a compressor. I take the nozzle off the compressor hose and I blow any dust or debris that might still be on the countertop before I spray. After that, just get the primer and I start priming. Now, this is something I do on the countertops, and I will say it on the tub videos also. I always go in both directions. I do vertically and I do horizontally. Doesn't matter which one you do first, just as long as you go in both directions. You'll cover all the spots that you miss. If you go in the same direction and you miss a spot, if you try and go in the same direction second, third time, I've seen even 3 times where some of the guys that I've trained, they will miss the same spot 3 times, even though they put 3 coats down. And it's just habit, like you're gonna make the same mistake again. And after that, I just take the nozzle off again and I give it some air. Just a few minutes of air through the magic of editing. That was about 5-10 minutes. And now I'm putting the color on. As you can see on the stove, I sprayed the plastic. And the thing is that I always check my spray. Every time I disconnect that hose from a gun and I reconnect it, I always check my spray because you never know what's going to happen. And just want to avoid problems. And just like I did with the primer, I'm going to do the same thing with the fleck, what we call the fleck, which is a multicolor stone spray. I'm going to go in both directions. This mainly not worried about missing spots. It's more about not having tiger stripes. And as you could see on the stove, I actually taped the compressor hose and I'm blowing air on the countertops because I'm literally waiting for paint to dry. And we do watch paint dry in this business. And I use this time to clean up all my mess. So that when I'm ready to go, I just go. And now is the clear coat. And same as before, I know I sound like a broken record, but vertically, horizontally, or vice versa, horizontally, vertically, and you just lay it on. Don't be cheap with this. If you do this business, I've seen guys where they just like lightly coat with clear coat. There's no reason for it. Once you mix it, you can't save it. You're gonna throw it out. So why not just save yourself the headache and just lay it on there pretty heavy. It makes the countertop look shinier and it protects it much better, and you're offering a better service. And they'll know it because they might go through 2-3 tenants with this countertop. It's not a guarantee. A tenant could come and burn it, but if you have a decent tenant, it'll last. And now I just go in reverse. I picked up my drop cloths. Now I'm pulling the 3M plastic off the bottom cabinets. And because I did it all in one strip of tape, I could pull it off all in one shot. Pretty easy. Same thing with the upper cabinets. I didn't use a bunch of little pieces of tape. I ran one strip across the top with the machine and one strip across the bottom by hand. And I could pull it off in one shot because of that. And I always do it this way. This is how I pick up speed. I always do it this way. As I'm pulling that tape, when I run that tape, if it breaks for me, I will redo it again. And as you can see also, the kitchen sink, pulled it off with one shot. And now it's just the 4 strips of tape that go around the initial pieces. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, what once was a plain old Formica countertop is now a stone, or faux stone, I guess you could say, countertop. And the customers really love this. I mean, it is beautiful. All the employees that I've ever trained, when I did work for someone, have always sprayed either their own countertops or friends or family, because it just saves money, saves time, and it looks beautiful. And here I am now just wrapping up, and that's pretty much all the stuff I'm carrying. The only thing you don't see that's not in view is the ventilator. There's actually a ventilator at the entrance of the countertop to suck up any fumes and blow it out a separate window outside of that kitchen. That's pretty much it. I wrap up my compressor. I attach it to my tool bag, which is on wheels. I run a bungee cord to hold it down. I got my garbage bag, close the window, and we are done. Thank you for watching. Okay, so that's it. I did one quick kitchen countertop, as you could see. Nice, from Formica to stone. And the time is 10:25. Started at 9:15 and I'm done at 10:25. That's with all the mess ups and dropping this, and it was a normal day, just regular spraying. This is a $200 job in an hour and 10 minutes. You can't beat that.